Hey everyone, I'm back. It's been a while, I know. So I'm slowing my roll with these videos significantly because, I want to give an accurate account of what I'm learning in my wilderness season. I'm not going to sit here and make promises to y'all that are not going to come true for everyone. But I think the nature of these wilderness seasons is consistent across the board. If for nothing else, I want you to be aware of what I'm going through, and if it resonates with you, hopefully it brings you some peace. And as I found out, it doesn't just resonate with you and me, it resonates with people in scripture. This is pretty wild. So real quick, I want to quickly go over this. I'm a sweaty mess. I just got out of the gym. I want to just say, in wilderness seasons, absolutely pray to get out, pray for deliverance, pray for provision, pray for all sorts of things. Not all the prayers are going to be answered immediately. You know that, right? But pay attention to the ones that are being answered. What I can tell you is I have never been diligent and disciplined to go to the gym. When I lost my job 15 months ago, the first thing I did was I asked the Lord, in this downtime while I'm looking for work, please help me rebuild this temple, my body, right? For him. Because I had all sorts of health problems. I had like fibromyalgia, like pain, head to toe, constant pain. It went on for years. I couldn't even walk, really. But I experienced a very strong presence of the Lord when I prayed that particular prayer, among the other ones that I was praying at the time. And I knew for a fact that he heard and was immediately answering that particular prayer. Well, I have been diligently going to the gym because, frankly, there's nothing else left to do. Aside from applying to jobs and stuff that just hit dead ends. I'm going to the gym and I'm meeting really interesting people there. People from my church. People that know people that I know from high school. I'm being coached by bodybuilding people, pro bodybuilders that are like the nicest people in the world and are full of grace and patience with me. And I've found a new family in a way, a support network. And, it's not just those guys, it's just normal guys like me that are just trying to, and it's given me some opportunities to talk about my faith and marvel at what the Lord has done for me. And for me, I'm not really trying that hard to go to the gym every day. Before, it was always a chore. It was tedious. It was something I really didn't want. It was like a 4-letter word, right? Like work. I didn't want to do it. But now it's like I'm being pulled there. It's the strangest thing. It's like when you're like a sailboat in the middle of the ocean. There's no wind. So what do you got to do when there's no wind? You got to turn on the engine. You got to burn a lot of fuel. You got to burn out a motor or whatever. And you got to push through the water. When a prayer is answered by God, it's almost like you can turn the engines off, put up your sails and catch that wind. And the Lord's doing the work, sending you across this ocean where there's really nothing in sight, but he's blowing you across it. That's the closest thing I can describe this experience with, just going to the gym. I mean, I've never been like this. I'm 48 years old. I have never experienced anything like this in my life. It's not like I woke up one day, I'm doing this. Come hell or high water, no. It was more begging. Please, this is something I always wanted to do. Could you please help me do this? Yep. I played high school football, and I'm lifting more now at 48 than I did back then. When I started lifting 15 months ago, I had head to toe body pain. It's gone. It's been gone for a while. I don't have any pain now. Like the debilitating pain, it's gone. He's restoring me. He's answering my prayer every day. And it's not like a one and done thing. It's gonna run its course. And I even think that when I get to the end of this rebuilding the temple, I think that's when my wilderness season is going to be over. It could be. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking now. So I'm doubling down and I'm putting everything on it. I've been approaching it more passively There's never really been a day where I didn't want to go to the gym. There's actually been days where I didn't want to go to the gym. I really was trying to not go to the gym, and I still went. Not because I felt obligated to, because, again, I was being pulled there. It's the strangest thing. I've never experienced this before. Shame they can't turn that into a fitness program. Pray first, right? Anyway, but there's all this other stuff, that blessing, enormous blessing, gets drowned out by the sheer terror of my financial situation, my career implosion. I think that's normal for a lot of people, but certainly for me, and I feel bad about it, I took my eyes off the blessing that he's been giving me on a daily basis, and I'm focusing on the storm, I'm focusing on the wind, I'm focusing on the waves, and then I begin to sink in my fear. The Lord has never left me. He's very much present the whole time. And if he's for us, if he's with us, who do we have to fear, really? He has been sustaining me, using people around me to help me sustain me. I mean, there's so many things that he's doing right now. Still changing my heart, still healing past wounds, still helping me grow up and cope with life in ways that I have very poor coping mechanisms that I've developed from when I was a kid, and I've kind of put them on the shelf and never really dealt with them. Well, they're coming off. During all this, while he's helping me go to the gym, he's helping me do all this, in the middle of this terror, he's like, okay, let's look at this next. He's rebuilding me down to the foundation. I mean, he's breaking me down to the foundation and building me up, right? And it's not a fun time. The way he's helping me grow at 48 is unspeakably good, and I'm so thankful for it, that he's been this patient for this long, and he's still willing to help me. And he's helped me in ways nobody else can. And then I come here today. I was going to go for a walk just to finish off my cardio, and it's freezing outside, and I'm soaking wet, and no, I'm not doing that. So I opened up scripture, and then it was like, how about you look through Psalms? And I started going through Psalms. I was like, oh, Psalm 23. Everyone knows that one, and I'll come to that shortly. But nobody really quotes Psalm 22, the one right before it. They love quoting Psalm 23, but Psalm 22, the one right before it, is remarkable because it's a very different tone. Allow me to read something. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. This is the one that's like, oh, what's your favorite verse of the Bible? A lot of people quote Psalm 23. And it's good to have a good positive mindset. But listen, if you're a believer, you are going to be put through trials by the Lord to test your faith. And they're not going to be fun. So sometimes you got to take off the rose-colored glasses, people. I'm sorry, you do. Sometimes you got to face reality and be miserable sometimes. Only then can you really perceive the strength of the Lord. So let me start with Psalm 23. I love Psalm 23 because I'm living it in a lot of ways, even though in this season of wilderness, I'm living it. This Psalm 23 has come alive to me. This is from David, King David of Israel. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. It's funny, for 3 years I've been coming to this park, and there's nothing but green pastures out there, like literally. That's what it is. It is a green pasture. It's like, I've been coming here to find peace with the Lord. So that resonates with me. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. That's what happens when I come here. That's exactly what happens. I am restored. It's peaceful. It's calm. I feel his presence here on this hilltop. It is wonderful. I'm so thankful for this place. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And when I go off of those paths, he lets me know. There's a constant refining. Don't go down that path, stay on this one. Don't go down that path, stay on this one. And when I go down that path, he grabs me and yanks me back. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, as we go through these wilderness seasons, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I will fear no evil. David's saying, I will fear no evil. Well, David knows something. There's a reason he's saying that. He's not just saying it because it's the right thing to say. No, I'm going to explain that shortly. He's saying that from a position of experience. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because we don't know. We don't know why. We don't know what multitude of reasons he's thinking of when he wrote that. Examples of why he will fear no evil. It's a learned thing that David is saying. I will fear no evil. He learned to say that. He learned to trust. He learned to believe. I'll explain why. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. That's what he's discovered. In this wilderness season, it feels like God isn't near. God isn't close. But that's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. He's very, very much present. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Sometimes being guided along the paths of righteousness. When the Lord uses his rod and his staff, it's painful. It's not what we want to do. It's not the choice or path that we would have chosen. But he keeps us on the paths of righteousness. And there's no pain or penalty there. And then when we come to realize that, it's like, oh, this is when I see your rod and staff, I know you're putting me on the right track where there's peace. So they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. David had a lot of enemies. He's the king of Israel, and everyone hated Israel. But the Lord is with him. The Lord is for him. If the Lord was for him, who could be against him? And yes, he could literally have the Lord prepare a table for him to eat in the middle of his enemies. And he can be comforted there because the Lord's with him. Nobody's going to touch him. You anoint my head with oil and my cup overflows. Anointing with oil is a sign of it's a blessing. It provides the anointee with extraordinary faith. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the rest of my life. And I think he's telling himself that so he doesn't forget this revelation that he's experiencing when he wrote this. I think in this passage, he is experiencing the joy of the Lord. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, because I don't think things were going too well before this in Psalm 22. Yet the Lord poured out his grace on David. So if he's ever in another situation like this again, like he was in Psalm 22, he can look back to Psalm 23 and say, hey, he anointed my head with oil, my cup is overflowing. He prepares a table for me amongst my enemies. He is for me. He hasn't left me, even in that season when I needed him most and it seemed like he wasn't there. He was very much present. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Okay, so let's go to Psalm 23 again. It sounds like a big love fest for the Lord, right? It is, and it should be. But what was in Psalm 22 right before that? Interesting. Psalm 22. From David, why have you forsaken me? Okay. So something happened between Psalm 22 that led to Psalm 23 that made him change his tune completely. Right? This is what Psalm 22 says. My God, why have you forsaken me? That's what Jesus said on the cross. Why are you so far from saving me? From the words of my groaning. So like, that feels like now in a lot of ways. Like I don't see any way out of my situation, and people that have gone through this valley of darkness, this wilderness season, they have said the same thing. This is normal. This is normal. This is the point I'm making. This is normal. Oh my God, does it sound like you and me? If you're in the wilderness season, it sounds like me. Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. So David is still acknowledging who he is. and his righteousness and his goodness and his authority, his stature, his position. In you our fathers trusted, they trusted, and you delivered them. And so I go through this too because I'm reading through Job and all this other stuff and Exodus, where God delivered them, right? I have videos on that too. In you our fathers trusted, and they trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried and were rescued. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. David's saying, but I'm being put to shame, right? But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. Anybody else? All who see me mock me. They make mouths at me. They wag their heads. I can think off the top of my head many people that have done that recently. He trusts in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. So it sounds like David is even being vocal about trusting in the Lord in the midst of his adversities. And people are just like, he's nuts. What is he doing? Like, the Lord's not going to deliver him. Yet you are he who took me from the womb. You made me trust you at my mother's breast. On you I was cast at my birth from my mother's womb. You have been my God. And be not far from me, for trouble is near, and there is none to help. That's the situation that I am in right now. I have come to the point where I'm like, Lord, nobody can rescue me from this except you. Even this morning, if I told him, like, if there's any way that I am getting out of this situation, it's going to only be because of you. It's only going to be due to your power and your provision. That's it. There's no other way. It's not going to be by chance. It's not going to be by luck. I know if I'm being delivered from this, it's going to be by him. But if I'm not, I mean, I got to be honest. I earned this. My lack of righteousness and my disobedience put me here. He's a God that's full of grace, but he disciplines those he loves, and I know he loves me. But even in this waiting season, he's teaching me something new, something different, something that nobody's taught me before. And I know this. And that's what he does for not just me, not for David, but for everybody. So this goes on and on. Here's Psalm 22, 19. But you, O Lord, do not be far off. O you, my help, come quickly to my aid. Deliver my soul from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dog. Save me from the mouth of the lion. You have rescued me from the horns of the wild oxen. He has rescued me before too, and which is really confusing. Like, you can rescue me again, right? So David in Psalm 22 is going through some desperate season, desperate situation. He knows that the only way he's going to be delivered, the Lord let him get there for a purpose. The Lord didn't leave him at that point. David had a reason why he's saying all these things, and he wrote them in Psalm 22. But then there was a deliverance, an intervention from the Lord that resulted in Psalm 23 right afterwards. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So what about that? Is that just for David? Is that, is this kind of a stretch? It's not really what you're going through, Jay. That was David, and that's kind of a... Hold on. Wait, no. Because if we look in the New Testament, two of Jesus' apostles, Peter and James, James's brother, his actual biological brother, in the beginning of their books, they say something that's consistent, speaks to what we go through as believers. If we are selected by God, you are going to go through a wilderness season. So the fact that you're going through a wilderness season as a believer, that's a good thing. This is a good thing. If you're going through life and you say you're a believer and you don't encounter like times where it's like, God, where are you? I was trusting in you. And then you have to look at yourself and take inventory of like what you're doing right. What I thought I did that right. Oh, kind of screwed that up. Sorry. And like it's this. It's necessary. This is the nature of our Father. Sorry, it is. You have to conform to Him, not the other way around. He doesn't conform to us. Look, He's strengthening us. This is sort of like boot camp in a way. Boot camp isn't fun. It's terrible. But you come out of there stronger and more disciplined, right? As believers, it's not all rainbows and bunnies and no. There's a spiritual war going on, and we are being prepared as believers. And if you're being called into a wilderness season, the Father wants to know, Jesus wants to know, are you still going to love me if I take everything away from you? Sort of like with the story of Job, right? Are you still going to love me? Are you still going to pursue me when the enemy takes everything away from you? Will you still turn to me? What are you going to do? How do you know this, Jay? Well, 1 Peter. This is 1 Peter 3. Blessed be the God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to His great mercy, He has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, unlike anything here on earth, kept in heaven for you, who by God's power are being guarded through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials. Peter's writing to other believers here. You have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Though you have not seen Him, you love Him. Though you do not see Him now, you believe in Him and rejoice with joy that is inexpressible and filled with glory, obtaining the outcome of your faith, the salvation of your souls. So Peter's saying you've been grieved by various trials. This is part of it. And then in in 1 Peter 4:12, Peter says, Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. Think back to Psalm 22. David was confused, like, God, my God, why have you forsaken me? This is a continuation of this. There's a repetitious pattern in the life of believers. Peter's saying, don't be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But what do we do instead, Peter? Okay, I won't be surprised. What do we do? Rejoice. I'm having a problem with that lately. But rejoice, insofar as you share Christ's sufferings, that you may also rejoice and be glad when His glory is revealed. If you are insulted for the name of Christ, you are blessed, because the Spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. But let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief or evildoer, as a meddler. Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in that name. For it is time for judgment to begin at the household of God, and if it begins with us, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel? So he said, don't be surprised when the fiery trial comes to test you. That's the nature of the Father. Like it or not, but it's also a mark that you are indeed a believer. Okay? I gotta keep telling myself that. I'm not out of my trial yet. I'm not anywhere close. This is why this is so valuable. I feel better now that I'm reading this. It's like, okay, these guys went through it too. Peter went through it. David went through it. And this is James, the brother of Jesus, the biological brother of Jesus, who was actually one of his disciples as well. James 1:2. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. What is he saying there? This is a means to an end. And what is that end? Steadfastness. What is steadfastness? It's a concept of where no matter what, you will not be shaken. No matter what, you're not going to just stop believing and pursue other things. And this wilderness season, where we're taught to trust money or bank accounts, we're taught to trust crystals, we're taught to trust food, we're taught to trust anything, big houses, our local community, PTA meeting, whatever, or degrees, the social circles we carouse in, our habits that we run to when we get angry or anxiety or whatever, fearful. The bad habits that we do when we become fearful, blame other people. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know the testing of your faith. It's the testing of the faith. It's saying, okay, if I allow this to happen, think Job. If I allow this to happen, if he loses this, if she loses this, what then? Are they still going to have faith? It's a testing of your faith. This trial is producing steadfastness in me. And I'm thankful for that. Why? And the right next, this is 1 James 4. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. It said, let steadfastness have its full effect. What does that mean? Well, when I just read that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It means let this season go all the way to the end, as long as it takes. Don't run. Don't run away from it. Sit and rest in it. Eyes wide open, ears wide open. Look at the horror and breathe. Breathe. And keep connecting to the Father. Keep abiding in Christ. Keep coming here. Keep opening this book through the whole thing. That is letting steadfastness have its full effect. Why? Because at the end of this, you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing, prepared for the next thing, whatever that is. And whatever that thing is, at the end of this, let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete. That's what David was writing about in Psalm 23. Psalm 22, he was going through adversity and was begging God, like we all do in our seasons of wilderness. But his steadfastness was complete, lacking in nothing. He rested through it all. And in Psalm 22, while he's saying, God, my God, why are you forsaking me? He was also glorifying him in the midst of all of it. And at the end of it, when it was complete, lacking in nothing, then he wrote, the Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely, goodness and mercy. Spirit's talking to me. Bob, read this. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the rest of my days, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What the Spirit was telling me was, What the Spirit was telling me was, this is something that I never really could internalize. Being in a position where I could say someday, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the rest of my days. I never had that confidence. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I always felt like there's no way I could ever measure up. I know I'm under grace, but if I get in, it's just going to be like, how could I ever get to a point where I could say, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the rest of the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I have to go through these fiery trials that produce steadfastness, like David did and the disciples did, so that my faith, my steadfastness may be complete, lacking in nothing. That's why we are going through what we're going through right now, folks. If you're in a wilderness season, that's why. So count it all as joy. This is a long one. I gotta go. I'm hungry. I ate nothing this morning and I went to the gym. So, y'all, I'll be praying for you. I don't have a lot of viewers or subscribers right now, but this is going to be memorialized on YouTube, and I hope someday this helps somebody. This ain't over by a long shot. This is all going to work for his good. All right, folks. See you later.